I hope you guys are all ready. If not, start rolling here. So thank you all for being here today at the Tabulation Center. Obviously, adjudication going on back here. Tabulation will be starting tomorrow morning. But Chairman Bill Gates from the Board of Supervisors, he'll come out and answer a few of your questions. As you know, we have had these issues where some of the ballots that had been printed at our locations were not being counted by the on-site tabulation equipment, which looks just like this box right here, not the blue box, the black box right here. So Chairman Gates will talk to you about what we've learned throughout the day as this problem has persisted in a number of our locations. But I think I'll reiterate, but I know the chairman will say it again. Everyone has had the chance to vote, and the number has grown well over 100,000, so he has more details on that. But we do have another commitment coming up at 3 o'clock, so we'll take as many of your questions as we can.
All right, thank you, Fields. Thanks to everyone for covering what's going on, getting out information today as we go forward with this very important election. I wanted to just read a statement that we've just put out from the board and the central command here. Maricopa County has identified the solution for the tabulation issues at about 60 vote centers. County technicians have changed the printer settings, which seem to have resolved the issue. It appears some of the printers were not producing dark enough timing marks on the ballots. The solution has worked at 17 locations, and technicians deployed throughout the county are working to resolve this issue at the remaining locations. So I really have to give great credit to our poll workers, to our technicians who have addressed this issue. Again, you never know what's going to happen in an election. No one here at Maricopa County has ever claimed that there is such a thing as a perfect election. And so we had the technicians out there, they looked at it and determined that this has been a printing issue. So again, we were at a high point of around 60 vote locations that were having this issue. So as you heard, it's declining now. We're down probably into the low 40s, and we anticipate that that's going to continue to improve. But like Field said, even when we did have this active issue, still, there was no one who came today with a valid ID who was turned away from the polls. Those people were given a ballot, they were given the opportunity to fill out the ballot, and then if the ballot was not going through this tabulator, they then had the option to put it down here in box number 3. Or also, we've been giving people the option to check out if they wanted to, if they were uncomfortable putting the ballot there in box 3, and then they could go to one of the other 222 vote centers across Maricopa County. So happy to answer any questions that you might have. Yes, Jason?
I guess just how frustrating was this? I mean, obviously this is not how you wanted to start out election day. It happens, but for you, it's just frustrating, but you know, you're pleased that it's being addressed.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no question that's frustrating, but again, really important for people to understand that all those vote locations, they opened on time, so it wasn't a case where people were showing up and the doors were locked, but they were coming and they were not able, some of these people not able to feed it into the tabulator. It's frustrating, but that's why I'm so grateful for all the people who worked on this. This was a tough issue, people were trying to figure it out, and now that we've got a solution, really pleased. But again, even when we had this and we hadn't figured out the solution, people were still able to vote. It was just a matter of maybe not, voting in the way they wanted to. Also, this putting their ballot here in box 3 and then bringing it down here for central tabulation later tomorrow, that's how a majority of the counties in Arizona, they vote that way. People go into the polling place or vote center, vote there, and then the ballot is sent into their central tabulation. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Mark Fincham has just told my colleague that he's talking to the AG's office, looking at filing a court order to extend voting hours. How do you respond to he and others alleging disenfranchisement from this issue?
Yeah, so again, we do not believe that anyone has been disenfranchised because no one has been turned away. Our job here, we're trying to run an election. We're focused on that. If a court orders us to keep the doors open after 7 p.m., allow people to get in line after 7 p.m., that's up to the court. But we're not going to be moving that. We're not going to be moving that date. We're planning on, or that time, we're still planning on being done at 7 p.m. Yes.
Can you clarify the printing issues? Was it because of the ink or the paper? And ultimately, that falls on you and the Board of Supervisors, correct? You can.
Yeah, so I'm not going to try and get too much into the details of this. I'm not a tech guy, but I can tell you it was a printer issue. It was not an issue with the tabulator. It was a printer issue. And one of the reasons that we were trying to figure out and kind of having a little trouble trying to figure out what the problem was that all the variables from August were exactly the same this time. So same type of paper, same type of printer, all of that. But again, we've identified the issue now, and now the situation is definitely improving.
And are you going to,
Oh,
are
go
you
ahead,
going to
Jan.
be able to run the ballots put into that box normally through your tabulators here, or are you gonna have to duplicate them because of the toner issue?
Yes, so we believe that we will be able to run the ballots through central accounting here without duplication. But if we do have duplication, again, we've got bipartisan boards who handle that. But we've got a strong level of confidence that we will be able to run the ballots that go into box 3 through the central account machines without going through duplication.
And a follow-up question on that, have you been able to, you've been using these same printers with the same settings during early voting, correct? And you've been taking them back here and running them. So did you see issues during that? Have you been duplicating or adjudicating more?
I do not believe the adjudication has been, been any different on that, not that I'm aware of. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy.
Was there any testing of these printers and the tabulation machines before the polls opened to ensure that something like this didn't happen, to make
Yeah.
sure everything works properly?
Yeah, so the testing of the machines occurs, the testing of the printers occur along with the general testing of the machines. And there was nothing to indicate that this issue was gonna arise today. Obviously, if we had, we would have taken other action. So this was a surprise to everyone, and again, we've gone through the same variables, the same testing that we normally would in an election.
How come the testing didn't catch this?
I don't know. Again, and Jeremy, that's something that we'll look at after the fact. You know, we'll do a deep dive. We're all about continuous improvement at Maricopa County. But at this point, we've identified the issue, it's improving, and that's why our focus right now is getting, as many voters through, being able to vote between now and 7 p.m.
Do you know how many ballots this affected?
We don't know. We won't know that probably until tomorrow. At some point, we'll be able to know exactly how many ballots went into the box number 3 here, and we'll be a part of Central County. Yes.
Do you know if this type of tech issues that have been an issue in years past, has this ever happened before?
I'm not familiar with this particular issue before. Yes.
Looking to clarify, we understand that box number 3, door number 3 has been used as the primary method of voting in the past. Can you talk about when that shifted to the tabulator?
Yeah. So we did. I'm not sure exactly what the year was when we moved to the tabulation at the polling sites or at the vote centers. But again, like I said, the majority of counties in Arizona are still doing it in this way, where they actually bring it into Central County. Other questions? Yes.
Do you know about how many people have voted in person so far?
So far, the last thing I saw, we were over 140,000 people that have voted in person so far. And of course, no idea on how many people have dropped off their early ballot today. But we know that'll be a significant number of it as well. That's certainly what we anticipate.
Do you have an estimate on how long it's gonna take to get to all locations to fix this?
Don't have an estimate at this time, but again, it's been in a fairly short period of time that we've been able to address the 17. That's how many I'm aware of at this point. But we'll certainly keep you guys updated on that.
17 boxes like this?
17 of the the vote centers we were having issues. We're no longer having those issues at the present time.
And are any locations shut down completely with both of the machines out?
There are no locations that I'm aware of that are completely shut down. We've kept those open throughout this period. Anything else?
When you say that the printers weren't producing dark enough, timing marks, can you just explain what that means and why would it not produce?
Yeah,
dark enough?
and again, we're again getting into the specifics of this, the technical pieces of it that I'm not the expert to speak on that. But the timing marks are important to be read by the tabulator. So if the timing marks are too faint and the tabulator can't read it, the ballot then gets kicked out and they try again to run it through. Again, sometimes there's multiple times that it was attempted, And then when, you know, the poll worker and the voter came to an agreement, they decided to either put it in box 3 or again, check out and move to another vote center across Maricopa County. All right,
All right, thank you, everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.